Brothers, sisters, powerful evil lurks in the cold forest. The ancient tales are true. Grab your steel and amass your winter. We must go to work. Hi, I'm Big Mike, and this is the tutorial for Trudvang. Trudvang primarily uses D20s for resolutions of any skill rolls or combat rolls. However, D10s are used in damage rolls, and D6s come up in certain situations. This is primarily a roll under a skill system. However, criticals do occur, but only in damage. The first part of your character sheet is what's known as traits, which would be like attributes in any other system. These are charisma, constitution, dexterity, intelligence, perception, psyche, and strength. Now, the one you may not recognize is psyche, which is your ability to cope with various situations, much like willpower in a lot of other systems we've covered. After that, there's skills, which is the core of the system's resolution. Players roll 1d20 and try and reach a result under their skill value, or SV for short, and add modifiers to the target number from the traits as they apply. Ties also count as a success. However, some traits can give negative modifiers to skill rolls based on character creation. Next is Archetype and Race. The Archetype is somewhat like a class in other systems, but far more open-ended. You're given a single skill with an automatic bonus in character creation, as well as potentially a magic system like Faith and what is known as Winter, which I will explain later. Races do not modify your character to the extent that they would in other systems, and most advantages are descriptive at best. The races available are human, elf, and dwarf. There are secondary traits such as age, height, and etc., but the most interesting ones are Raud and body points. I'll start with Raud. Raud is a special type of stat that you can spend as points for rerolling or second chances to avoid death. However, unlike most other luck stats, Raud never replenishes. Ever. Regaining it is so rare that it's almost not even worth mentioning. Body points are like hit points. It defines how much damage a player can take before falling or dying. And of course, not all damage is physical. Once a player's body points go below 0, they are in the risk of dying and must roll 1d6 to determine how many rounds they have before they die. Though your constitution modifier can change this, for good and for bad. Before you ask, no, healing is not easy. It is dependent on so many factors that if we told you, it'd basically be reading out of the book. But there are first aid options. Also, your body only heals 1 body point per day. That's it. This game is that deadly. Next is magic. It's very natural, very wild, and has names like Winter and Faith. Users have so much Winter that they can apply per day. There are Winter skills that give you a pool to draw from and use points to dump into a spell. Unfortunately, both it and the Faith magic system are more complicated than this tutorial can reasonably be expected to cover. Trudvang values a balanced character over min-maxing. It's entirely possible to create a character who can't speak if you overspend at character creation, or a Jack Muscle Man who can't physically lift a sword to save their own life. And now combat. Initiative is determined by rolling 1d10. If you get 10, you roll again and add the result. This continues every time a 10 is rolled. You add your initiative modifier, which are all the negatives derived from armor, weapon, and chosen actions. Yes, your own physical traits don't enhance this in any way. To attack, you make a skill roll below or equal to your attack skill. Opponents can parry if they have enough combat points. What are combat points? This is another pool of points that are spent in combat actions on your turn or outside of it, so you have to budget how much you spend. Combat points replenish every round and are determined by your fighting skill. When you succeed at hitting, you deal damage based on weapon hit strength modifiers that add to damage. Again, if you roll critical on damage, you roll again, and this continues to stack as long as you keep rolling the highest number value on the dice, in which case is a 10 for a d10 for most cases. Modifiers only apply after all the damage dice have been rolled. And that is Trudvang. It has a strong Nordic adventure vibe to it, and I encourage you to go check it out for yourself. For the rest of you, you can watch us play it on D20 Live.